yet rainy post-election Tuesday afternoon to all. Yours truly, Denise Osorio, here for PTV News Now. Tops on our stories this afternoon. Senators hailed the men, women behind yesterday's successful poll. Senators of the Republic expressed heartfelt appreciation for the heroes of yesterday's big event. The teachers, poll body officers, volunteers, police, soldiers, and media practitioners who worked tirelessly to ensure a free, fair, and safe elections. COMELEC thanked teachers conducting polls, military, PNP securing voting sites with the vote counting winding down. Senator Villanueva said the country owes a huge debt of gratitude to all the aforementioned public servants who put in all their energies and efforts to safeguard the country's most sacred act of democracy. He also lauded the poll body for shepherding the entire electoral process from its careful preparation since a year ago and into a busy campaign period, administering the casting of ballots and all the way to counting the last vote. For his part, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian raised the sacrifices the teachers put in administering the casting of votes and digitally transmitting the precinct tallies to the COMELEC, underscoring the dual role they play in protecting democracy and educating the country's children. With yesterday's big event, in the country's rearview mirror, the president called on the people and the newly mandated leaders in national and local governments to come together and help government with the huge task of handoff nation building. The president issued his plea to the newly elected officers of the land to join in the collective task of lifting the country to greater heights and setting aside partisanship and personal sentiments, with the country and government needing all the help it can get. He thanked the Filipino people for taking part in the electoral process and doing it peacefully, safely, and responsibly. The president shrugged off the rather dismal performance of his hand-picked senatorial slate and instead looked forward to the road ahead of leading the country and leaving it better than when he took over. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin are expected to meet in Turkey this weekend in a meeting U.S. President Donald Trump brokered. Though Trump hailed it as a breakthrough and watershed moment, there is guarded optimism on Kiev and the Kremlin reaching a deal on anything, especially since Putin will not budge on his core conditions, among them keeping Crimea and other seized Ukraine territory. We revisit this report filed by VOA's Jeff Custer.
Moscow this week suffered the biggest Ukrainian drone attack since the start of the war, leaving at least 3 dead and 17 injured. Many Muscovites are trying to ignore the war, but many also hope that negotiations between the Kremlin and the new U.S. administration will soon bring a peace that Russians consider a victory. Officials say the goal is international recognition of the new borders that the Russian army has obtained by force.
It is clear that there will be a bilateral settlement between us and Kyiv. It should be a peace treaty that will legalize the new borders of Russia and the post-Soviet borders of Ukraine.
Many in Moscow are already celebrating the new geopolitical scenario before the conflict is ended.
This is a real victory. You can open champagne. Also, it cannot be lost. Russia must continue the offensive because no one canceled the ambitions of the United States. Yes, they are afraid of us, but it does not mean that they abandoned their idea of a world empire.
And that's a wrap for this afternoon's stories. Join us anew later on for the evening set of Newsbreakers. Till then, keep it tuned here for news you can count on, news you can trust. This is Denise Osorio, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.